Hello guys, how are you? Hello Cereal, hello Klumar, hello Tajir. How have you been? Hello Battle Venom. I'm a bit late, but I'm still trying to find out the reasons of these lag spikes that I keep having. Okay. So let me activate the triggers. But I want to read a horror story today too. Not immediately, but soon. I'm searching for the... Where is the wooden frog? Oh, where did my wooden frog go? Ah, it's here. Okay. So, today for me was very slow. Time passed really slow today. So it was kinda boring. What did you do today, guys? Huh? I wonder if I can analyze a disc while streaming. We will see. And this I will turn this on. Okay. Test. Okay, you shouldn't hear that sound, but it could actually be ASMR. That sound. The triggers are on, yes. Okay. Thank you for the follow, Bagheera. The big black cat. Did you find Mowgli? Oh, wait. We like stream avatars. Ouch. Okay. Better. Hello, Saitam. How are you? I did this start? Give us our avatars. Okay. So today I did the dailies for Wuthering Waves. I did one pool, but of course no luck. But something tells me that I will lose the 50-50, even with Lucy. Let's test this. Hello, John. How are you? So Wanton, Asavinaya said that from the Summer Game Fest they announced Guild Wars 3, but any other interesting game coming out like sooner? Oh, currently I work. Welcome to my second monitor. Hello. What are you programming? Monster Hunter expansion. Oh. No talk about like Ananta. Currently making the billing system. Oh, we use for a big project. Oh, I don't know. That's maybe it's not my style, but when they make me work on that part of a project, I don't like it. I was just interested in Monster Hunter and Guild Wars 3. I see. could go and search for a mysterious horror story to read in ASMR now. Let's see. Is there a way to filter? Sort by best? Babe, I don't know if we should try this story. Maybe it's not safe. Because the title is My Workplace Started a Compliment Jar. Now no one has any privacy. Maybe it's not safe, Lord. Let's search for another. Hello, Mike. Oh, you got olive pizza? But hey, it's easy to remove them. You can just remove them and make that like a margherita pizza. Oh, this might be interesting. Oh, there are actually 3. Okay, let's see how long they are. These stories. Wow. I'm more attracted to this one though. Okay. So, we will put the redeems on pause now. There we go here. Where's the horror? Okay. So we are back to some ASMR horror mysterious story reading. Let's go. Hello, Bradwell. Okay, so we are back to the no sleep Reddit thread, and the title of the story is Have you ever heard of a job called Last Contact by No Cardiologist 1353? Hello, monster. Yeah, I agree. Oh, so let's start reading this story. Have you ever heard of a job called Last Contact? I didn't think so. That's strange because without last contact, society would collapse within a week. I learned about it the summer after high school while looking through classified job listings. Most were normal: warehouse work, landscaping, retail. Then I found one that read Last Contact Trainee. No experience required. Must be willing to work with the recently deceased. $2,000 sign-on bonus. $45 hourly wage. Wow, that's a lot. Wow. That got my attention. I figured that it was some position at a funeral home or maybe the morgue. That was fine by me. So I called the number at the bottom of the listing. A dull voice answered the phone by the third ring. Hello? Hello. I'm calling about the last contact job listing. I saw it in the paper. Oh yes. What is your name? It's Will. Very well, Will. We will give you a call back in a few days. Thank you. With that, the line went dead. Hello, master. I rolled my eyes and went about my day, thinking I just fell for some prank. The pay should have tipped me off. It was way too good to be true. The next couple of days, I continued my job search. No position offered what the last contact one did. Must have called 10 fast food places with no luck. 3 days later, I was shocked to receive a call from a familiar number. Hello, I answered. Hello, Will. Congratulations on becoming the newest member of the Last Contact family. We are excited to have you join us. I was dumbfounded. Thanks? I managed to say. If it's convenient for you, we'd like to begin this coming Monday. Oh, yes, that should work for me. Great. We are assigning you to the night shift. You will need to be at our call center by 9 p.m. Monday night. Thank you for the follow. I can't read your name, though. Sorry. Oh, and then you thought about necromancy when I was talking about working with recently deceased. What games are you playing now? I also thought something about the morgue. So, after the voice gave me the call center address, it said, "Thank you, have a nice day." As I set down my phone, I wondered what exactly I had gotten myself into. Looking back, if I had known what the last contact was at that time, I probably never would have shown up. Monday came quick. I packed myself a small bag of snacks and lunch. Lunch? Guys, why lunch? He has to go there at 9 p.m. That's not lunch? What? You're playing the Anglo and Sea game? I see. So, wait, why lunch at 9 p.m.? Isn't that dinner? Maybe, I don't know, different countries think differently about breakfast, lunch, and dinner hours. Let me see. So I hopped into my crummy car and crossed the town to the call center. The call center itself was a rundown small industrial building next to the train tracks. It had a tiny parking lot lit by a lone flickering streetlight and a single light on the building illuminating the walkway to a plain door. Pulling into the parking lot, I took a moment to double-check the address. This was the place. I stepped out of my car and slowly walked to the door. pulling the handle, I found it to be locked. I stood there for a moment, unsure what to do. A little voice in my head told me to turn back to my car and get out of there, but instead I gave the door a firm knock. After a short pause, the door swung open. The man who opened the door was short and a little pudgy. He had thinning dark brown hair, long sideburns, and thin glasses that sat low on his nose. He looked tired, but not sleepy. "Are you ill?" he asked. "Yeah, that's me." He stretched out his hand to shake mine. "I am Nate. I will be your trainer for the next few weeks." He ushered me inside. The interior wasn't much nicer than the outside. Directly behind the door was a small entryway with a coat rack and 2 waiting room chairs. The entryway opened into a long hallway, which Nate led me down. We passed several doors before Nate opened one and said, "This will be your workspace." I walked into a room barely double the size of a standard coat closet. It was illuminated with a greenish yellow fluorescent light. A long desk rested against the back wall, which was also home to the only window in the room. On the desk sat an ancient-looking desktop and a telephone. The only other thing in the room was a dusty office chair. Nate looked at me as I stared at the space. "How much did they tell you?" I didn't meet his gaze, but answered, "Not a thing." He sighed and ran a hand through his falling out hair. "That figures. They never do. Let's go to the break room and talk through it." I followed him to the small break room. Its flickering lights revealed a handful of tables and chairs. 2 30-year-old fridges sat in the corner, as well as several old vending machines, some of which looked like they hadn't been restocked in years. The back wall had large windows that looked out towards the train tracks and the darkness that lay behind them. We sat down at one of the barren tables. Nate slid a paper towards me. "Before we get going, I want you to sign the contract." I looked up at him. "Contract?" "Yeah. You are required to work here for a minimum of 5 years. After that, if you continue, you will get a $9 raise, but have to sign on for another 5 years. I stared at the sheet and looked back at Nate. "Do I have a choice?" He smirked slightly and shook his head. "Not really." I swallowed and signed my name. As I did, Nate began. "Guys, wait a second. Isn't it weird to sign before knowing what the job is about? Would you do that? Isn't that kinda dangerous? I mean, it could be a scam or something. Why signing before knowing? Never do that, guys." So, here Nate started explaining. When people die unexpectedly, they get one final phone call, one last contact with the world of the living. I'm sure my face demonstrated my disbelief. Nate gave a weak smile. "I know, sounds silly, but the reality is that those who are killed or died unexpectedly are given the opportunity for a last call before their soul passes on." He took a drink from his bottle. It's our job to answer those calls. This job is important for 3 reasons. First, we provide comfort for those who have recently passed. Oftentimes, they don't know what happened and are confused. We give clarity. Second, we gather important information that the dead hold. The dead possess information that must be transferred before they move on. Passwords, locations, military codes, those sort of things. We gather them and pass the information to the right places. And thirdly, spirits who call and no one picks up tend to become violent and dangerous. We try to stop that as often as we can. I didn't know what to say. I'm sure you got some questions. Let's see if some calls help give answers. He said as he stood, patted me on the back and headed out. I followed. Isn't that how signing up for work works? Because as soon as I signed, I need to pay me. But shouldn't you know before what the job is about before you accept? What job tells you all the shit they expect you to do before the job? A normal one. A normal job. I mean, it's not like they have to tell you everything, but at least you should know what job is that. This guy here in the story, he only knew that his job was being a last contact trainee, and then he just signed it up, and that's it. So, let's continue. We returned to my little room. Nate sat in the chair. I would take the calls tonight, but I would put them on speaker so you could listen in. I nodded. The first call didn't come for about 30 minutes. It was nearing midnight when the first call came. Nate picked up the phone. Hello, my name is Chris. What's yours? I was surprised that Nate didn't use his real name. The room crackled with the noise of static, but a cracked monotone voice spoke. I'm Mike. Hello, Mike. This is your last contact. I am sorry to have to tell you, but you have died. The phone went silent. What? How? What happened? No, that's not possible. A sad, confused voice finally replied. Mike. Nate put his head in his hands. I was driving home. I'm sorry. I was driving home 20 minutes ago. I'm sorry, Mike. We don't have much time. Do you have any passwords or information your loved ones will need? Gentle sobbing could be heard through the phone. Nate sighed. Mike, please. Your family will appreciate it if you could give me something. The voice on the other end managed to squeak out his banking information and the combination to a safe. He begged Nate to tell his family that he loved them, but Nate only took down the passwords. The call had only been going on for about a minute when the line went dead. Nate put the phone back in its place. He sighed heavily as he said, They only get 60 seconds, so get as much information as you can. No personal messages make it to the families, so do not bother. Why did you say your name was Chris? Oh, I don't use my real name after the incident last year. I stared at him, hoping he would elaborate. He didn't. Instead, he then showed me how to create a file for the caller, showing their name, the time they called, and the information they were passing on. Nate glanced at me. They are not all that easy, he said. The The next call didn't come for hours. I could feel myself nodding off as the phone rang. "Hello, my name is Steve. What's yours?" said Nate. Immediately, a haunting voice responded. "Am I dead?" "Yes, I'm sorry to say you are. What's your name?" Instead of answering his question, the voice laughed and said, "I found the door." In an instant, Nate hung up the phone and swore under his breath before reaching under the desk and pulling out another phone. He began dialing the number taped to the side. "What's going on?" I cried, trying to sound less scared than I was. "You will find out soon enough," was the only answer he gave before lifting the second phone to his ear. I could only hear one side of the conversation. "Yeah, it's Nate. We got another one talking about the door." The voice on the other hand said something I couldn't make out. Okay, thank you," Nate said and hung up the phone. He let out a breath and turned it to me with a fake smile. "How about some coffee?" he said cheerfully before walking out of the room. I followed him to the break room. Nate tried to make small talk as he poured some old coffee for us. As he did, I stared out the window and noticed that standing past the train tracks was a dark figure. A chill went up my spine as I saw it. "Hey Nate, someone is standing out." It cut me off as he quickly whispered, "Don't look at it. It always shows up after a call like that." "What do you mean?" "Look away," he hissed as he grabbed my shoulder and spun me around. We stared at the dirt wall. Nate was holding his breath. After a few minutes, I heard a gentle tapping on the window. The tapping continued for about 2 minutes before it stopped. Nate said, "We can turn around now. It leaves after the tapping." As we turned around, I could see that the entire window was completely iced over, except for several little dots around the glass. They looked like places where a fingertip had tapped the glass. I looked at Nate. "What is going on?" He shrugged. "Just part of last contact." He followed up with, "In the future, just know that the faster you look away, the better. Sometimes it won't even tap if you're fast enough." He then walked out into the hallway. When we got back to the workspace, he turned and looked at me in the eyes. "Look, Will, this isn't your standard job. I am sure you have realized that already, but it's important, and better yet, it pays well, so my advice to you is to keep your wits about you and follow the rules." I nodded and said, "What rules?" He handed me an envelope and said, "Your sign-in check is in there, as well as a few rules. Read them when you get home. Come prepared tomorrow night. I will be having you on the phones tomorrow night." I took it and put it in my back pocket. The rest of the night was pretty quiet. Around 6 a.m., we got a call from a young woman who hung herself. She wanted her parents to know that she left a note under her pillow and her friends to know her locker combination. 7 a.m. finally came, and Nate said, "You did good for your first night. Some nights will be way busier, and some nights you will get no calls at all. It ebbs and flows." "How long have you been doing this, Nate?" He grabbed his coat from the entryway, 12 years. I'm on my 3rd contract. Do you like it? He shrugged. It's a job. We both walked out into the parking lot and waved goodbye as we climbed into our vehicles. When I got home, I collapsed on my bed. Pulling the envelope from my pocket, I opened it, set the check aside, and unfolded the sheet on it. Oh, wait. I think that we miss a verb here. So there were 7 rules anyway on this. If the caller begins describing the room you're sitting in, terminate the call immediately and leave your workstation for 15 minutes. The dead should not be able to see the living. Second, if you hear breathing before the caller speaks, disconnect immediately. The dead do not need to breathe. Third rule. If a caller says, I found the door, end the call and notify a supervisor. Fourth rule. If you recognize the caller's voice, remain professional and follow normal procedure. Personal calls are inevitable in this line of work. Rule number 6. Under no circumstances should you answer a call that arrives exactly 1 minute after another call ends. Those calls do not originate from the deceased. Oh. Next. Should the caller ask to speak with Nate, tell them Nate retired years ago. Do not mention that Nate is sitting 3 offices down. Then, if somebody begs you to send help, transfer them to extension 7 and do not follow up. Setting the page down, I released the breath I was holding and muttered, "What in the world did I get myself into?" I slept till around 3 in the afternoon when I woke. I hoped what I experienced the night before was just a dream. But the check on my nightstand told me it was all too real. I got up and made myself some breakfast. My mom came into the kitchen and smiled at me, saying, "Hi, honey, how was the job?" I shrugged and said, "It's a job." Hello, 새벽. 안녕하세요. After a shower, I got into the car and headed to the bank to cash the check. After that, I headed to the bookstore. I figured if I had some slow nights coming, I could at least get some reading in. At home, I watched the news for a while, but had to change the channel when I saw that a school bus went off the road into the river. I couldn't help but think that the day shift would be getting a lot of calls this afternoon. As I pulled into the parking lot, I couldn't help but feel nervous. I had gotten there before Nate did, and when he pulled in, I waved and got out of my car. As we walked in, Nate handed me a copy of his key. "That way you won't have to wait for me," he said with a smile. "Are you ready for this?" I sighed. "I think so." He chuckled. "You will do great. I will be right there if you have any questions." That made me feel quite a bit better. As we entered the small workspace, Nate handed me a sheet of paper. "I wrote you a script for the night. Hopefully it will help." I grinned and said, "Thank you, that makes me feel better." The night was very forgettable. We only had one call the whole night. A drunk driver who hit a telephone pole. I tried to get him to share information, but he was confused and rambled. Right at the end, he started sharing banking information, but the phone cut out halfway through. His 60 seconds were up. Good try, Nate said. It takes some practice to get them finished in under a minute. Don't worry about it. Okay, I sighed. I would try. As the sun rose, Nate and I again parted ways in the parking lot. My third night was busy. We had 7 calls in the first 5 hours. I started to feel like I was getting my feet under me. After I finished a call from a stabbing beating, Nate patted me on the back and said, "Man, that was a tough one, but you did really well. Good job." He then moved to the doorway. I will go to the toilet. Be right back. I took a deep breath and picked up my book for the first time that night. A few moments later, the phone rang. I looked around. Nate was still gone. I gulped and picked up the phone. "Hello, my name is Chris. What's your name?" There was heavy breathing on the other hand. "Hello?" I stupidly replied. Malicious laughter filled my ear, and I realized my mistake when a voice said, "Thank you for staying on the line, Will." The line went dead. Nate walked in a minute later. My face must have been full of fear because he asked, "What's wrong?" I looked at him. It was breathing, and I didn't hang up. He clenched his jaw and muttered, "Well, that's not good." "What do you mean? Did it say your name?" I swallowed and whispered, "Yes." He went pale before slamming the door shut and locking it. He flipped the lights off and whispered to me, "Don't make a sound." I held my breath and sat as still as possible. Down the hall, a door squeaked open. Heavy, wet footsteps trumped down the hall. "Will, where are you?" A dark, almost melodic voice echoed through the hall. Nate held a finger to his lips, telling me to be silent. The steps moved closer. "Will, are you here?" It stopped in front of our door and began to wiggle the doorknob. It smelled like mothballs and bleach. "Will," it jiggled to itself, "are you in there?" I jumped as a loud bang rocked the door. Another followed, and another. Nate moved in front of the door. I could see his hand shaking. In a stuttering voice, he said, "Will retired years ago." The noise stopped. Before the noise shuffled its way back down the hall, a door slammed shut. Nate, "Hello? I don't know, bro." "Oh, wait. I have a error 2000 error from Twitch. Browser. Let me see. Guys, do you hear me? Test. I think so. Okay. Oh, it's been a while since I saw the 2000 error from the browser on Twitch. So let me drink and we will continue the story. Oh. Guys, would you take this kind of job? So, where's my mouse? Come up, mouse. Okay. So, Nate let me go home that night. My car was empty, but smelled of mothballs and bleach. Is it bleach or bleach? I wanted so badly to quit. In fact, by the time I got home, I made up my mind that I wasn't going back. But lying on my bed was the contract I signed. The 5 years duration was circled over and over again in red ink. I got the message. It will be a tempting job. Very peculiar job. So that night I slept terribly. I dreamt that I was trapped in my room while my mother stood outside gently tapping on the window and laughing to herself. That night, when I reported for work, I noticed that Nate looked just as tired as me. He nodded when he saw me. Hey Nate, were you able to sleep? He gave a weary smile before shaking his head no and taking a drag on the cigarette he was working on. Why would you sign the contract 2 more times? I couldn't help but ask. He puffed hard on his cigarette. Well, after you hit 10 years, every year after, they promise that I love it. Whoa. Oh, what? Okay. I might take this job too, guys, if I had a chance. By the way, if you are on Twitch, there is like a redeem code I'm still here. Since Twitch had that bug, also let me write here. Refresh the page, and if you can, click on that redeem, but I'm still here. Refresh the page if it gave you a 2000 hertz. And the redeem is... Where is it? This. Okay. So. Yeah, I will tell you why now I changed my mind that I would also take this job. So, Nate answered, well, after you hit 10 years, every year after, they promise that the loved one of your choice won't die. I felt like I was beginning to understand. They can do that? I asked. He shrugged. It's worked so far. He flicked his cigarette to the ground before saying, let's get to work. As we stepped into the entryway, we were both surprised to see a note taped to the far wall. It was handwritten and said, Night shift. We have had some issues on the day shift, so we felt it was right to record what we have learned. Hopefully, we can avoid more casualties. Here is what we know. Thank you for the follow, Gaetano. If a caller asks whether the train tracks are still behind the building, answer yes and close the blinds immediately. If the caller thanks you before you have helped them, end your shift immediately and go home by a different road than usual. If a caller asks what time it is, answer incorrectly The dead lose track of time after passing. Anything that asks for the correct time is trying to synchronize itself with our word. Hello, Leon. I keep having some error 2000 from my browser. Let me reload the page here. Also, let me see. Okay. I want to read again, guys, this what happened during the day shift. So they said, we have had some issues. Okay. If a caller asks whether the train tracks are still behind the building, answer yes and close the blinds immediately. Then, if the caller thanks you before you have helped them, end your shift immediately and go home by a different route than usual. Third, if a caller asks what time it is, answer incorrectly. The dead lose track of time after passing. Anything that asks for the correct time is trying to synchronize itself with our word. Okay. So, hope all is well. Good luck. We both stared at the sheet for a while before Nate said, well, that's a crummy way to start the shift. What's it mean? It means our job just got a little harder, he said with a sigh. Come on. He headed to our room and I followed. Between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. we helped 2 different people who overdosed and one shooting victim. Nate was walking back into the room with a coffee for both of us when I started a new conversation. Hello, my name is Chris. What's your name? Static followed, then a small voice. And Carol, can you tell me the time? Instinctively, I looked down at my watch, and as I did, Nate gently slapped the back of my head and pointed to the new rules. Hi, Carol, it's 5 minutes after 6. A loud sigh came through the phone, and Carol hung up. Nate raised his eyebrows slightly. Didn't know they could hang up from their end. We will have to watch for that. 10 minutes later, every clock in the building displayed the same incorrect time I'd given Carol for exactly 5 minutes. We didn't get another call that night. I spent it reading and walking the halls. I tried the handle of the 7 other doors in the hallway. I'm not sure why. They were all locked, but I could see a light beneath one. After walking around for a bit, I returned to the room, and I noticed the blinds over the window had been closed, even though neither Nate nor I remembered touching them. The sun rose, and as I drove home, a thought entered my mind. I should write this all down. None of my friends or family would believe these stories if I told them, but maybe someone out there who believe and appreciate my experiences. So, when I got home, I opened my laptop and I started writing. And that brings us to us now. I have been a last contact trainee for 4 nights now. I will try to keep you posted through my 5 years, but for now, I'm signing off. Oh wait, something is scratching the inside of my closet door. And here the story ends. What do you think that happened, guys? Oh, what happened to Will now? Like, for a moment I thought that maybe he wasn't alive anymore after, when he broke the rules. But he said something is scratching the inside of my closet door. What if that note that was put from the day shift was actually fake? And now it's like being haunted. Anyway, so this was, I will repeat the title of the story from the No Sleep Reddit thread. And the title was, have you ever heard of a job called Last Contact? By No Cardiologist 1353. Okay, let's go back now to the normal scene. And I will activate again the redeems for you. To be honest, I hoped that we could know more about the story. But it was well written. You should be able to see the redeems now. Yes. Okay. I will also activate a special one. Let's see. There is only one of these. First come, first serve. It's choose one free ASMR redeem. It's almost free because we can't put 0, so you have to use 1 point. It's active now. Okay. Not the points. You don't have enough points, master, I guess. That's so weird. I didn't yawn, I think, while reading the horror story. You only have 284. Let me turn on the fan. Do you hear the fan? I think when I told you, you will, right? Sometimes I wonder if I do that error 2000 on purpose. Hello, Mimi there. How are you? I feel like I think that OBS is lagging a bit. it lags like this, maybe. Maybe there is some lag then also with my voice compared to my model. Cool. Hey, look down there. These two little guys aren't moving since a while. So something happened. Let me restart streaming avatars. Crash it seems. Doesn't want to close. Where to force it? Okay. There's still a little bit of lag. I will try restarting also my model, guys. Because to me it's a bit weird. So... I'm coming back. I'm coming back. There. And I have to transform. Okay. Oh, good. Now it's not lagged anymore. You have 270k divided by 10 points currently. Oh, I saw something before, like, that I never noticed before. If you click on the button for the points down there, and then again on the button with the yellow circle, tells you how you get points. So it says, thank you for the follow, Koimura. Hello, Leobardo. Hello, Koimura. Thank you for the follow, Leobardo. So it says, watch for 5 minutes. So I guess that, you know what, I think that if Twitch, the new system on Twitch considers you like well, not a lurker, but you know, many times Twitch consider lurkers. I think that they are bots that are not watching. So every 5 minutes it says, I guess you want to get points if Twitch will think that you are not a viewer with the new system. Maybe that's why it's lower to get points. I'm good, thank you, Koimura. How about you? How are you? How is your day going? Yeah, you can't just keep listening, you have to be active in chat. Yeah, maybe it's correlated. But for that Pradwell, I put 1 point redeem. It's the I'm still here. So maybe that can help. On Twitch. Just tired. You have work in the morning, but it's 4 a.m. Oh no. I know. There. Yeah, it happened to me last week. I was something. Wait, how do you say? Woke me up. Something woke me up, and then it was 4:30 a.m. But I had to wake up at 7, and I felt like I didn't sleep at all. But try to sleep if you can. You keep texting in chat, still the rewards and bonuses suck. Some days you don't even get 400 and 500 entire stream. Let me see. Let's do some math. So it says 5 minutes is 10 points. If you participate in a raid, oh, that's weird, because look, here it says that if you participate in a raid, you get 250 points. Then, so you are subbed, so there is a multiplier of 1.2. Could I have positive affirmation? You have to choose between the ones that are down there. I don't have the positive affirmation. I tried to do that for a while, but I'm too much of an introvert. And then I felt like I couldn't find the right words. Let me see. So, So you get like 12 points per 5 minutes. This means that in an hour you get 144. I usually stream for 3 hours, at least minimum 3 hours. That's 432. If you participate in the raid, then it's plus 250, 682. But usually I stream a bit more than 3 hours, so let's say, yeah, you should get around 700 points minimum. Name spells, yes. Letter by letter, you mean? Or me repeating your name 5 times? Which one do you want? 0 point redeems? What do you mean 0 point redeems? I don't see any 0. Don't see any 0. $320 per hour? Letter by letter, okay. Let me ask you another question. Do you prefer me to pronounce the letters in English or in Italian? Cravallo. Nice. Your workday went well. English pronunciation, Italian pronunciation. Yeah, Prajwal. But there is no admin access. You can't give admin access. Koimura. English letters. English pronunciation for those letters or Italian? I will wait a few seconds and then I will choose. But the weirder thing is that I see that there is like an incoming ad, but Twitch doesn't let me snooze it. It says 0 out of 3. It's really weird. So Koimura, I will decide. I will spell the letters of your name in Italian. Kappa 0 E M U R A. But I think that the Italian R is a lot better for ASMR, you know? Okay, Pratwal. Ah, now that's how you see those. Those are new redeems by Twitch, and instead of points, they cost bits. That's why you see 0 for those for that icon. That icon is for the channel points. But above, if you see, there is the icon of the bits. So maybe in your country you can't use those, and that's why. Thank you for the follow, Bumblebee Ghost. Hello. If you scroll down a bit, Prajwal, you should be able to see the normal redeems. Hello, hello. Thank you for the follow. Give me a vowel, please. NJ. No vowels and a number. Ariane, it almost looks like you're a bot. I'm ready to deliver karma if you are one. It doesn't work well in India, I see. No, but I think that certain things, certain countries have limitations. For example, when I do like a prediction, I know that in certain countries people can't participate because in their countries doing that is considered like gambling. So yeah, maybe that's what's going on for those redeems for you. The bits redeems. Many games have been banned, even if it's not exactly gambling. Yeah, then it's probably, it's either that or maybe because it's very new that those kind of redeems are new on Twitch. I think that they added it like a couple of weeks ago or so, and maybe they are still finding an agreement. Either that or they said no, you can't. Let's change trigger. Let's see this. Hello, Killing. How are you? Today is the 6th? No, it's 9. Today is the 9th of the month. You were watching this anime where a girl becomes the right hand of a boy she loves? Like literally? What the fuck? Literally? Not only the head, a full body is a part of his right hand. I hope that anime remains say so, but something tells me that it's not. Let me try something. Is there a way to do this? No. This K-drama called Teach You a Lesson is I just started watching it gradual. Yesterday I watched the first episode. But you know, but I guess that's for you too. Being someone that has been bullied a lot, those kind of dramas are so satisfying to watch, right? Did you watch The Glory? Bradwell, and you guys, all of you, you absolutely have to watch The Glory. Especially if you have been a victim of bullying. And also, I really love that actress. She is such a girl crush for me. You used the wrong cry. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you for the follow, Sky. With a number guy tell me 2 plus 2. 2 plus 2. Wow. I'm lagging. My mouse is lagging a lot. So I'm trying to see what could be the cause. But you know, guys, I think that if I can in the future, I should try and get a desktop PC. Because there is not much that I can do for troubleshooting on a laptop. Although the laptop, I decided to go for that so that I could stream also while, you know, if I went to visit my family. But it's kind of a pain. Guys, I have a lot of redeems if you want to try them. Otherwise, I would just go with random triggers. is it if I tweet like this? I want to hear it. It's too low, the volume, so let's change trigger. You are fresh out of stuff to say. Oh, how is your mood today, my meter? 'Cause you told me that you say random things when you're like happy. Are you not feeling well? You're good? Oh, okay. Thank you for the follow, Banano. Hello, Banano. Thank you for the follow, Glitchica. Hello. anyone wants to talk to me about how your day is going, what did you do today, if you have any plan for today. As usual, I will, after streaming, I will go walk my dog, but I had to take the doggo to the vet again, cause now it's his stomach that doesn't seem okay. So they thought that it was something that he usually had when he was younger, you know, but it's not. So now they will do in the next days, Thursday, like some blood tests and stuff. But my dog is kinda getting old. Actually, he's officially in the, I don't want to say it, he's officially considered old. But if you look at him, he doesn't look old at all. And strangers often ask me if he's still a puppy. Oh, thank you, Glitchika. Thank you so much. Welcome also to the channel. So yeah, today I will walk my dog. But like in the last weeks, it seems like it doesn't feel like walking. Well, usually he would just drag me around. I hope that we can find the cause of his stomach problems, and that hopefully it's just this, that it's making him want to walk less. Yeah, I mean, he's 9 years old, and actually in 2 months it will be 10 years old. So after dogs are 8 years old, they are considered officially old. I'm sad for that. You know what I'm doing? I went to Claude and asked, because my PC is still lagging. And You know that I said it, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I showed you a picture of the performance of my in my task manager, you know, the CPU, memory, and stuff. And the only one that was weird is the Wi-Fi. Claude said that when the Wi-Fi is like that, it causes stuttering. Huh. Hattie, hello. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Hello, Safineya. Wait, what? Why this chat is not showing me that you wrote that? Because it's true. The watch streak. 20 stream streak. Thank you. That's a lot. Safineya, how is it going on Wuthering Waves? Today I did the dailies. I tried one more pool for Lucy, but of course I didn't expect to get her, and I didn't. I have been reading about people wanting to try Wuthering Waves just because they saw the collab. So I guess that it was a good idea. But all the gacha, four main gacha games are actually doing collab at this moment. You know, I'm not very experienced in gacha games. Wuthering Waves is my first. So it seems that doing this kind of collabs is a thing. Well, I heard a notification, but Stream Elements is not telling me anything. Is it you? Maybe it's a Talabi. I think that it's you. It could be you. Thank you for the follow on YouTube. Hello, Colera. Bon vespero. Soleil. Isn't Soleil like a brand of ice cream? I thought of trying it because I saw you playing it. Oh, Kuro, did you hear this, Kuro? Oh. Soleil is French for sun, yes. But here, I don't think that it's an Italian brand, but there is something Soleil. Let me see. Yeah, oh, it's actually Italian. It's like it's called Gran Soleil. It's by Ferrero. That's why. And it's Ferrero Gran Soleil is yeah, it's a sort of ice cream, but more like sorbetto than ice cream. I will show you. Can I show it here? Da-da-da-da. Properties. This. So I only think about food, guys. Yeah, this is sorbetto. It's pretty good and very light in calories. Oh, we have a redeem finally. Thank you, Glitchika. Whisper your name 5 times, okay? Today, chat doesn't want to use the redeems somehow. So, Glitchika. 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 There. So later you to play the next game you play in Italian if available. Wait, what do you mean? Like that I have to speak in Italian, or that the game should be in Italian, like with the voice dubbing of the characters in Italian? Come to India, you get spicy foods with Wiltons on your taste buds. I like spicy food, but I'm not really good with that. The game in Italian. I wonder if there is the translations and stuff in Italian of Wuthering Waves, but I doubt. No. There is a Reddit where a post where people Italians are asking Wuthering Waves to put the Italian too, since they did Rinascita, you know? Venezia, Laguna. Raguna is actually Laguna. Laguna di Venezia. Venice Lagoon. So do you think Italians are better at English than Germans? No. Italians are not good with foreign languages. I mean, maybe the last generation is doing better, who knows? Because there are a lot of teenagers that are doing a lot of crimes, and they are like in these telegrams, Discord chats, where they organize these crimes. They do challenges, you know? That's so bad. So maybe the teenagers now know English well, considering this. Germans dub everything they watch. Well, on the TV here too. But what I can say is that we have a lot of very good voice actors. Very good. It's like an art. Here is considered like an art. Thank you for the follow, Last Desire. But at the same time, because being a voice actress was one of my dreams, until I discovered that here is you have to know people, because they all know each other's, and it's like a closer world. Mafia. Sad. Yeah, you need to know people, certain people, to become a voice actor here. Thank you for the follow, Hank. There are a lot of followers today. Thank you, guys. People learn English due to cry. No, I was saying that. Do you know about these groups, guys? Sadly, there are many international groups, and they get minors, especially minors within a certain age, because they're not punished by the law below 14 years old, and they basically manipulate them to make them do crimes and post the videos and stream also those crimes. And in the last months here in Italy, there have been a lot of teenagers doing shitty stuff, all of them with their phones recording or streaming. For example, Italy usually never had any problem with those school attacks and stuff. In this month, there have been teenagers being arrested because they were planning to do school attacks, which is something unbelievable here. And many of these, they frequent these groups, international groups. So I'd say that teenagers now in Italy knows English a lot more than the other generations. I'm not sure if it's a good thing though at this point. Maybe it was better when they were ignorant about foreign languages. Wurstel and fries pizza, that's my like second favorite colera. No, that's a classic pizza here. It's especially for in high school. There are certain pizza that people think that they are like not Italian, for example that one, or Nutella pizza, but they are very popular here. No worries. Klichika? By the way, so how does the border to the Vatican San Marino look? There is not a physical one. Oh, you can hear me now. the stream deck, the pre thingy for the mic completely went dark. Okay, but now you should hear me. I was saying, cholera, that there is no border. Like the Vatican is just a square, normal square, and I mean it's like a building, and yeah, they stop you when you want to enter. But I just have a bad memory about that, because when I was a kid, I was like 10 years old, and I was with my aunt, I think family anyway. I was with my family, and I was wearing a shirt that had very short sleeves, so part of my shoulders were visible. I repeat, 10 years old, and they stopped me, and they told me that I couldn't enter because they could see my shoulders. Kid. I was a kid, and besides me, it was full of men passing by, and they could just enter, and they were all wearing shorts with all their legs and stuff. Some were even kind of obese, so their stomach was a little bit showing. Adults. But me, a kid, with just a shirt with partially showing my shoulders, I wasn't allowed in. And from then on, I just hated that place. Like, fuck you, pedophiles. What the fuck, really? You're stopping me, a kid, because my shoulders are showing, but not the men with all their legs showing and hair and stuff. Oh, fuck you. So yeah, from then on, I mean that, and when I was 6 years old, these two things made me just start hating religion. When I was 6 years old, so my grandma was very, well, I wouldn't say that she was very religious. Let's say that she liked to go to mass because she had her friends, so they had this, let's say, ritual where every Sunday they would go to mass, and then after mass they would go to a bar to get coffee, pastries, and talk, and yeah. So she wanted me and my sister to be, how do you say, kiriketto. Let me see in English. Kiriketto. Altar boy, altar girls. She wanted me and my sisters to be altar girls. So we became altar girls, and every Sunday we would go there and do all the things required to be altar girls and help the priest and whatever during mass. There was a day when the regional let me see. It's a bigger figure. I don't remember the ranks anymore. Wait. Ranghi. Vescovo. Okay, vescovo. Vescovo in English. Bishop. Okay, it's an higher rank, so it represents like a whole region. So that day, the bishop came to our city as a guest, and he was appointed to do the mass that day, that Sunday. Do you know what he did? And I repeat, I was 6 years old. 6 years old, and I still remember. He told that altar girls couldn't stay at the same level as him. So he moved all altar girls down together with the other people. And when he came by, when he passed by, I asked him why we have to stay down and the boy can come up with you. Because you know, at that time I was so happy of making my grandma happy. I didn't care about being an altar girl, but I was proud to make my grandma happy. This bishop, he didn't answer me, so at first I thought that maybe he didn't hear me. So I asked it again with more volume on my voice, like, why can't we go up with you? Why can't we go up? He didn't even look at me, and he just kept walking. He completely ignored me. So at 6 years old, I started understanding, and then after that, the Vatican thing, because again, I didn't care about entering the Vatican. It was just my family that wanted to see. So that's when, as a kid, I started understanding that female, because I can't say woman, I was a kid, 6 years old and 10 years old. Females and religion, they are not, females in religion are not considered very well. So fuck religion for me. Yeah. And then I also searched for other religions, if there were religions that would consider females in the same way as males. I thought maybe Shintoism. None, guys. None. Yeah, but after all, religions to me, and I know that people might disagree or not like that I'm saying this, but it's my opinion, guys. Religions, after all, they are fables made by men because the science was not developed enough, and they couldn't understand certain phenomena, so they started creating religions, you know, and they are fables. And yeah, so to me it's fuck religions. Animism, isn't animism similar to Shintoism? Let me see. But is that a religion? Animism, is that a religion or a philosophy? But I was shocked that even in Shintoism, women are considered badly. Wait, first, let's see, is animism a religion or philosophy? Like, it's not a standard religion, animism. It's more like spiritualism. Are you now agnostic or atheistic? I don't know. I believe in science and chocolate. I mean, I understand that religion can help people feeling better about certain things, but I just think that religions are also the cause of many bad things, and too many died because of religions. Too many. I wonder if without religions we wouldn't have so many wars and shitty stuff. Of course, there would be others still, but I think the religions are a big part of human evil. It's not a reformative religion. You get it? That's why you're not atheist. Thank you for the follow, Nani Clark. And spoiled eggs. Zoroastrianism, that was the old religion made in Persia. Yeah, Zoroastrianism, you think that maybe women were considered normal there? Normally? No, normally. Not really practiced anymore. Welcome, Nani Glorp, to the channel. Hello, final ages. What am I? I don't know. You say atheist or agnostic? What's the difference? I never remember. So, an atheist says that God doesn't exist because there is no proof, while agnostic says that the existence, sorry, I'm translating from Italian, the existence or non-existence of God is agnostic says that God is kind of related to humans and they don't know if it exists or not. I think that it might depend on how we define God. What is a God? So depending on that, I'm either one or the other. Because I tend to think a lot about, after all, I'm a moon elf, about space, the universe, where and when things started, why, what's beyond the known universe and stuff. Or are there parallel worlds? Is there like a fourth dimension that science still wasn't able to analyze? All these things. If there is a mind behind that, maybe that's what I would consider a god, but it's still very different than the gods that people refer to in religions. Intelligent design, a religion of sort, is there something called it like that? You mean aliens created things? Is that what is that? It's a pseudo-scientific argument for the existence of God. Oh, I don't know about this. Let me see. Presented by so it's not a religion though. Presented by its proponents as an evidence-based scientific theory about life's origin. Intelligent design presents 2 main arguments against evolutionary explanations. 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 2 irreducible complexity and specified complexity, asserting that certain biological and informational features of living things are too complex to be the result of the natural selection. But these assertions were rebutted by detailed scientific examination, and evolutionary explanations they claimed to be impossible had been published in peer-reviewed research. You all love philosophy. No, sometimes ASMR deranges into nerd stuff. The community and me are mostly nerd programmers, so. But yeah, sometimes we derange to philosophy or still nerdy stuff. It's interesting that intelligent design, but it has been proved wrong already. So apparently they base their reasoning on the fact that there are many living beings that are too complex to explain. So they think that there is something more, and it's just not nature. But it seems that this complex being, now they have an explanation connected to evolution. You like Russell's teapot quite a lot. A story experiment for why God is unlikely to exist. Russell's teapot. Oh, we have our team. Scissor cutting, okay. Ages. Russell teapot. Russell. Oh, I thought the teapot was like the surname, but no. Russell's teapot is an analogy formulated by the philosopher Bertrand Russell to illustrate that the philosophic burden of proof lies upon a person making empirically unfalsifiable claims. Oh, I agree on this. As opposed to shifting the burden of this proof to others. Yeah, I agree in this. If you have a theory, you are the one that have to prove it. It makes no sense that it's others that have to disprove your theory. Even though my disbelief started when I was a kid and understanding that women in religion are not considered at the same level of men. But yeah, I prefer logical thinking than feelings thinking, and for this I have often been considered an ass. There are, for example, when I played League of Legends and they forced me to be the leader, I would just think logically and I would say things logically without feelings, but I thought that I was just being an ass and know it all. And that's also why I didn't want to be a leader. Italy is also a very devout country? No, absolutely not. Zero. Close to zero cholera. People have a wrong opinion about this. There are very few devotees, and most of them are old people. Weirdly, there are many women. But what I can tell you is there are certain little villages, kind of closet villages, kinda probably with an average low IQ, low culture, probably kinda illiterate. And they believe in certain religion things that are very bad. For example, possession. We had some crimes, very bad crimes, related to that, to people that believe it, that their family members were possessed, so they did something very bad to them. You got another right at the good part. Okay, let's wait. I'll wait for the other. Let me write it. Wanjom, welcome back. I will wait for the other repeat. Yeah. But these are, people that are not cultured. Cultured, you say? They don't have a... It's over? Okay, so I was saying that in Italy, people are not really religious. Let me see if there is a percentage. But at the same time, we have many like small villages. I think that it's especially in the south, center south Italy, and they are kind of obsessed for certain things about religion, like demons, possessions, and there have been a few crimes related to that when these people had family members that they considered being possessed. So these family members didn't end well. This is about these people being illiterate, ignorant. So, but it's like an extreme. But I'd say that Italy is not a very religious country. Let me see. How many religious? And I can tell you that the USA is very extreme with religion to us. It's like there are certain things that I see about religious people in the USA that here they would be considered like, hey, you are in a cult. What the heck are you doing? You think as you were in a cult, not as you were just some average religious people. How many religious people are in Italy? Let me guess. I think that it could be 20-30% maybe, and many of those are not even practicing. Let me see. Only 20% to 25% are they regularly like attend the worship services and whatever. And yeah, you can see that they say that there is a high percentage of Catholics in Italy, but that's because it's like the norm that when you are born, and now this is lowering, but it's like the norm to baptize someone when they are born. So there are many who got baptized. What the heck? How do you say it? Baptized. But they are not really religious. Yeah, baptized. Google, help me. Baptized. Okay. So most of Italians got baptized when they were born, but they are not actually religious. 20 here it said 20 to 25% of Italians are practicing religion. To be honest, I know very few people that are religious. 2? I think only 2. Yeah. Because even my grandma, I mean, she liked to go to mass, but only because she had that ritual with her friends where they would go to a bar after and get pastries and chat. And I would also like it because she would also buy me a pastry. Scandinavia is also really withholden from religious beliefs. I mean, if we think logically, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, religion, other than for giving some psychological comfort. It can give some comfort, and I can understand that people use it for that, because there is really a lot of shit going around nowadays in our world. But still, how many wars we would have avoided if religions weren't there. I think many, even now, guys, look at what's happening. A religion is there. There are many group of people also that are getting like ostracized or being, let's say, being treated really badly just because of religion. It's really sad, and it makes no sense. Maybe I'm just a heartless person who is just too logical, but for me it's like this. I would rather have humans not having any religion than having them. We are Lutheran over in Denmark, but a lot of people unsubscribe to their financial donations to the church aid. Yeah, here we have to choose. We also have to give part of our taxes, of the taxes that we pay, between the church and something else. The church is rich here, guys. I've heard many things from people that like had to build things and stuff, and let me tell you that I don't have money issues at all. So yeah, it kind of makes me mad that they ask for money from people, taxes, and they own so much. They own a lot of buildings here, a lot, plus other things, a lot of art also. Thank you for the follow, Netropper. Most of it goes to the restoration and upkeep of churches. Well, that's still not a bad thing. Here, those money don't go there. We definitely know you're not heartless. Thank you. Religion is bad, but it is as bad as Twitter. I mean, Twitter is the how do you say needle? Needle. Nest. Twitter is the nest of social contagions. Do you know what a social contagion is? There are so many that are happening nowadays thanks to Twitter. Of course, they happen also in other social medias, but Twitter is the king on that. You think Stalin abolished the church as an institution back in the 30s? Is that a modern term for mental asylum? No, I will tell you. I will tell you the definition, and then you will understand a lot. If you look at Twitter, I mean, it's something that is happening even in the VTuber, at the VTuber level. It's when someone says something and then people start believing that and they spread it, and then more and more people believe that, and then everyone will start bitching about that. But so anyway, in the VTuber stuff, that happens a lot, especially about trauma. So social contagion involves behavior, emotions, or conditions spreading spontaneously through a group or network. The phenomenon has been discussed by social scientists since the late 19th century. Can you believe that? We had social contagions even in the 19th centuries, and now we have social medias, and it's hell with this. So, it says that the exact definitions varies. Some scholars include the unplanned spread of ideas through a population as social contagion, though others prefer to class that as memetics. I don't know what it is. Generally, social contagion is understood to be separate from the collective behavior which results from a direct attempt to exert social influence. It's more than that, mem-heater. Two broad divisions of social contagion are behavioral contagion and emotional contagion. I would say that the cancel culture is a social contagion, for example. It became a social contagion. You know, you remember when suddenly we didn't always have this cancel thing. It started. And it started especially thanks to social medias. And people started to talk about this. Oh, I will cancel you, let's cancel that. And now, whenever someone does something that people don't like, then there will be this cancellation. So, the study of social contagion has intensified in the 21st century? 21. Much recent work involves academics from social psychology, sociology, and network science investigating online social network. Studies in the 20th century typically focused on negative effects such as violent mob behavior. Remember all that mess that happened with streamers playing and streaming the J.K. Rowling game, Harry Potter. How can I forget the name? Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy. That's another social contagion that happened through social media. Isn't the cancel culture more of a tool rather than an idea? Yeah, but it's not social contagion is not just an idea. Cancel culture is like the consequence of this idea that if you do a mistake that people won't like, the only consequence is you getting cancelled instead of, I don't know, talking about that, reasoning. And nowadays there is, when someone says something that others don't like, there is not like a lot of talking between the two parts. It's just a clash. They just it's just fighting and cancel, and then people take part, they will take a side. If there is not a lot of let's try and find a shared point, a shared understanding of each other's. Now it's just, you say something that I don't like, then I will cancel you. So let me see. Yeah, studies in the 20th century typically focus on negative effects such as violent mob behavior. This is one, for example. Whereas those of the 21st centuries, while sometimes looking at harmful effects, have often focused on relatively neutral positive effects, like the tendency for people to take action on climate change once a sufficient number of their neighbors do. But I think that we are more on the negative effects nowadays. Another social contagion is, to me, is autism. Now, and in general, mental issues, because it's like having mental issues nowadays considered cool, and everyone wants to get them. Like my psychologist, she actually told me about this, that people go there now, especially young people, they go there just to take a test because they want to have something, and if they find that they have something, they would just go away happily. They won't try to maybe, learn to deal with that or solve it if it's possible. Yeah, ADHD is another one of these. Autism and ADHD, everyone wants and think that they have it, and there is a lot of even that fake manager that treated me so badly, he said that he had the something autism, and then I was being an ass to him, yes, when I was always talking normally, and he was doing things like forgetting about all our appointments and then laughing about it instead of saying I'm sorry, because I was paying him. He was being a complete ass. And then as soon as I started complaining about this, he just went directly into I have self-diagnosed autism, ADHD, and whatever else is cool now. So just as a shield, so that I couldn't complain about him being not professional. This is this trend of being, this thing of idea that having a mental problem is cool, is a social contagion of the last years. We didn't have that before. And it's something that makes me really, really angry, because if I could choose not to have that fucking social phobia, I would gladly not have it, guys. But here there are people that they want to have mental problems so that they could act as victim and not being not having, how's it called it, when someone does something bad and then there are consequences. Not there is an English word. Well, I think that you understood what I mean. You were diagnosed young. It's not a walk in the park. It looks like indeed, with autism, called Carter's and show. Yeah, indeed. It's like all of these people, especially the younger ones, throwing here and there. I'm self-diagnosed autism because I did a test on the internet and it told me that this is damaging who really has this. Because by time, it will be considered less and less seriously. And I fucking hate it. It's like nowadays everyone has autism. It's not true. It made the list of people who deal with these disorders so much worse because less people take us seriously as a result. Indeed. Indeed, Hattie. Indeed. It makes me so angry that I really wish that all these wannabe, I don't know, wannabe autistic or ADHD or whatever, I wish that they would try having social phobia for a month. And then I would like to see if they would still think that it's so nice having mental issues. But is a social contagion a fundamental evil? Well, at the end it is, because people would just start believing without critical thinking. They would just believing anything related to that and not ask themselves, wait, is this really truth? Is this really true? Can it also be a contagion being spread which helps people be more productive or empathic? Well, yeah, it probably can go both ways. But nowadays, we all see, for example, do you see it, for example, in this context now, guys, in streaming? Do you see how most of those bigger streamers, they just go by drama to drama and talking bad about this? That's another social contagion, because I don't think that humans by nature think instinctively about doing good. I think that they think more about themselves, their gain. It has become pretty hard to find people that think not only about themselves but about the people around them, or I don't know, their city, their region, the world, the humans. It's hard to find people that think. We say, we have a say. We say, you think only up to your nose. I still get scared of telling people I'm autistic because there's a very real chance that they will use it as a reason to infantilize you, or not to believe you, or not take you seriously, because now we have this trend of people thinking that having autism is cool. It's sad. It's sad, really sad. It's taking the value of psychology away from people who actually need to be taken seriously. Like, okay, social phobia is not at the same level of, it's not the same critical level as ADHD and autism, but I saw people, extrovert people, saying that they have social phobia. This, for me, has caused me this, and I say it here, guys, with not a lot of problems while streaming, that I have these, and I'm working hard. I mean, I'm proud that I was able with time to go from not being able to answer the phone to go and singing in front of people, still with like a lot of fear inside me, trembling, whatever, but faking it. Faking to not be scared. But if I say, I tried to say to some people that I have social phobia so that maybe they could understand more, and they would answer me with, oh yes, I'm shy too. That's not the same. That's not the same. Yeah. Hello, Z. You're telling me to do ASMR? Oh, you're telling me you do ASMR. Yeah, I do ASMR on Tuesdays. Yes. The original ASMR. The 1.0, the normal one with triggers, not the kind of ASMR that was born on Twitch. Okay. It means fractured mind if you try. Oh wait, you have schizophrenia? Which is at least being thought about under the lens of Hollywood and cinema. Oh yeah, with all the like the criminals, they often give them a schizophrenia. Yeah, you rarely, if I ever get any positive hallucinations, but being called a schizophrenia, most people think me as emotionally unstable once you mention it. Yeah, yeah. It means fractured mind. Phrenia, it comes from Greek, I think. If you translate it, but nowadays being called a schizo is almost an edgy remark. Yeah. Yeah, people call themselves schizo when they just want to be cool. Your head hurts when the phone rings. I'm still getting anxious when the phone rings. But I learned to answer. If you, Zelda, if you think that you have, please do this. Go to a real specialist. Do not try and do internet tests, okay? Go to a psychologist or who is the best specialist for that, for them to give you a real test. Oh my flipping god, I am an ASMR enthusiastic, so I'm intrigued and interested a lot. Tell me, what am I getting tonight? So yeah, sometimes like today, my ASMR streams go into they range into food, technology, because many of us are nerds, philosophy, like today. But let's say that the standard ASMR stream is with, you know, triggers. You can see them in the rhythms. Some things get generalized like that. When someone thinks of social phobia, they think of shy people. Yes, and I get it, but you're right that it's not the same as a literal phobia. Yeah, indeed, indeed. Wait, so that's just a yap ASMR. I was talking about the triggers. The triggers are down here. We have quite a lot. If my mouse will let me scroll down, there is tapping on glass, plastic beds, pencil doodling, playing with my moon necklace, wooden frog, plastic wrap, many others. You love when ASMR gets philosophical. Thank you. Sometimes I fear that I'm like the people might get bored, cause I'm this kind of person that start going into nerdy stuff. But yeah, I studied philosophy at school, in high school and university, and I really liked it. Food and frog, okay. Muramasa. Does a deck of cards containing itself also sound good when getting shuffled? Eh? Eh? I don't understand. When did we start? So I was talking about how priests, when I was a kid, mistreated me just because I was a female. So then I started talking about the religion and my bad opinion on religions. Then we got to social contagions, yes. And that it's one of these social contagions is people, especially young ones, wanting to have autism or thinking that I have it. And self-diagnosis is, I mean, it's not always negative, but because sometimes it works, but I think that it's also a very strong trend nowadays. Mistreatment coming out. Oh, true. Okay, no, basically I was discriminated by priests just because I was a female as a kid. So other social contagions, we have, the cancel culture for sure is one. This fetish for mental problems too. It's like people want to be victims. But this is probably also because there is less love around, maybe. Clara, I'm gonna pin you. What do you mean that is a social contagion, feminism? I'm a feminist. Everyone should be a feminist. You'd say that after your diagnosis, I can tell I have ADHD, OCD, I'm dyslexic, hyperinsomniac. You're a smoothie of all of those and a lot of patience. Yeah. And are you like working on that? I'm working on my social phobia, as I said. I hate to be the guy, but I feel like yandere characters in media affected how people see mental illness as a whole. True. There is a sort of fetish also towards those kind of characters. Yeah, it's true. I mean, in the way it's being viewed by people not fully understanding it, like being called woke. Woke and feminism are two different things. I say that I'm not sure if it's a social contagion. I think that it's more of a trend than that many are just saying, oh, you're woke, because they don't agree to someone. And even if there are many misogynists that are spreading around the idea that feminists hate men, I still wouldn't call that social contagion, because it's still only towards a small part of people, and it's especially men. So I wouldn't call that social contagion. It's just them being asses and using social medias to try and spread certain ideas. I'm trying to get myself back to that APP cycle, and I can easily switch between being an insomniac and a normal human, so that's an improvement. Yeah, remember that small steps are huge steps as long as you do them. Yeah, I don't understand what feminism means. Those, like that group, I don't know if you saw, but there are many bots. These people are literally creating bots to spread misogynistic ideas and try to convince people that feminism is something that it's actually not. And they go around in groups also. I think that they probably organize through Telegram or so, because I see them in certain posts in my country. For example, we have a bad problem with violence against women. Like every day there is one victim, if not two. And but when there is an article saying that there was a feminicide, you go into the comments and if it's full of these people saying all the same things, like what about a man's suicide? Yeah, but what did she do? Yeah, but why we are not talking about men being killed by women? They say all the same things over and over and over. So that you can see that they are like organized groups, and they go around in to spread these under posts that even just talk about the last female victim. It's shitty, but I still wouldn't call that social contagion. It's just a group of cavemen and they didn't evolve into human beings. I mean, they're stupid. Their IQ is for sure. They do not do critical thinking, so for sure their IQ is below average. It would be interesting. It would be very interesting to see some studies about the average IQs of these groups. What's the difference between a trend and a social contagion then? A trend and not, yeah, there are some people that do that, but it's not really the society that does that as a whole. Like, think about, for example, that cancel culture. It's huge, the cancel culture. I got stuck with the wooden frog. Thank you for the follow, Final Ages. Twitter is a breeding ground for those bots. Yes. Remember, guys, Remember when Elon Musk said, just after he bought, or maybe even before he bought Twitter, he said, "Ha! Thanks to me, I will get rid of all the bots on Twitter. Twitter has a huge problem with bots. I will get rid of all of them." And now we are at a level. If there was like 10% bots before he bought Twitter, now we have 300% of bots. People like that act like all these problems are mutually exclusive. Yeah, there are sadly these. You know, sometimes I try to reason with facts and data with these people, but they don't have the mental tools to understand. Even if you bring in front of them the data, so that's just, there are no feelings behind data. It's just simple, clear, direct proof. They will deny them. They will still say it's not true. So these are people that lost their critical thinking. But something else is happening. There are some stories that starting appearing now about guys, I don't know, husbands, boyfriends, who started telling their story about how they were part of these groups. They would consider people like Andrew Tate and stuff as their idols, and they just would believe in everything that they would say. And they ruined their relationships because of that. They would think they're going home and saying to their wife, like treating them as the wife should take care of everything, the house and stuff, and they were like the king of the house. They would think that it was just the right thing, but then they lost their wives. They lost their girlfriends. And then, at least, some of them started realizing that what those red pill or whatever influencer were doing was actually ruining their life and not surely making that better. Now, these stories are coming out. It's the consequences, of course. I mean, since how many years we started having these woman-hating influencers, and now the consequences are appearing. Like, even for example, they talk about men loneliness epidemic. Yeah, but it's a consequence of these things. It's themselves that did that to them. Involuntary celibacy is really fascinating, while also alarming societal concept in the 21st century and alarming. Involuntary celibacy is such a stupid concept. Yeah, it's you know, again, it's this desire to be a victim, like for people wanting to have autism, ADHD. It's similar. These groups, they also want to be victims. But instead of both of these groups instead of trying and look for the real reasons and the solutions. They prefer to be victims, to consider, not to be, because most of them aren't, to consider themselves as victim, because it's easy to be a victim. It's a lot easier than try to face, before facing, to accept that there are problems in your life and then try and facing them. It's hard to do that. It's really hard. So they choose the easiest path. And since there are many who are doing the same, they don't really have a lot of will to change. Tiny robot, okay. Tiny robot, it's here. Most of these influencers don't even believe in their own extreme views. Yeah, I agree. It's like all these streamers that they fake a drama between them just to have more viewers and more money. It's all about money. It's pretty clear that they're using them more as a way to control and exploit vulnerable people, yes, who are desperate to be more confident in themselves, yeah. That's the exact same tactic cult leaders use on their members. Oh, I see. True, if we think about it, these are like cults. Yeah. True. I mean, to me, it's just everyone should be a feminist. It's just having equal rights, and there are people that don't know that feminism is also about helping men, because for example all this bullshit about men don't have to show their emotions, they can't cry. Again, that's something that was created by those groups, by misogyny. Or the fact that many can't face, they don't have the ability to face a no, or to be left by their partners. There are men that go crazy because they can't deal with being left. So fish soul is bops like this with a reverb. I mean, since I was a kid, people showed me how I didn't deserve the same treatment as my male friends. Even when I played basketball, for example, only us, the female team, we had to buy everything for ourselves. Oh, thank you so much. See, thank you so much. Let's put the points, and I will be a fish. Like my team, we had to buy our how do you say, outfit, the basketball thingy, shirt, whatever. We had to pay for everything, even transportation to to do matches. We had the boss of the company that would go to the male team and give them like cakes and whatever for Christmas and stuff. We were completely ignored. When we would play matches, we had referees that would say, "Oh, I want to be serious with these because they are just females, and female basketball is not real basketball." All of that while I was a kid. Where are the points? Here. The points. Stream elements. So I experienced all of that since I was a kid, and I just can't accept when people say that women have rights now. It's not true. Okay. Oh, I finally found them. We put the star. So I'm gonna do fish soul. So the idea that I get more opportunities by default just because I was born a certain way is such a weird concept to me. We're all the same species with the same potential, so why don't we all get equal opportunities? Indeed. You know, I have quite a lot of stories about being discriminated just because I was born female. Even at work, well, not my current one, but you know, I'm a nerd. I always liked computers and stuff, so I found a job in a IT shop. They would sell even gaming stuff, Um, and I ended up having to bring the boss to court, cause, well, for the same, how do you say, not mention, the same, I had to do the same things as my male colleagues, but it would pay me 1/3 less than my male colleagues, and then it would treat me very badly. It kinda like degenerated. So even he was a fucking narcissist and misogynist guy with a daughter, a little daughter, 6 years old too. And he would go around and tell me that women only need to open their legs, and even his daughter, when she would grow, she would do the same. Can you believe what kind of human being is that? And then, by then, he would start saying things that were worse and worse, like that he would call me under the table, and he would come next to me. He would come close to my ear and whisper that he wanted to know all my secrets, and that he would ask my boyfriend all of my secrets. Yeah. But sadly, I couldn't bring him to court for that, because the lawyer told me that I would have to take some recordings, but that means that I would need to go back there, and I didn't want to. And then he also started screaming at me. He would get angry every time that I was right on something, and the only thing that I wanted to do there was making things better, making that shop improve. And when my suggestions were right and things became better, he would start pestering me. And then he would go around and say that he was better than God, and he was like a robot, that not even a robot could do the things that he would do. He would comment on everything that I did, even breathing, how I breathed, how I was, like the dresses that not the dresses, the outfits, the clothes that I would wear, how I walked, how I breathed, how I moved. So yeah, we need feminism for sure. I gave him karma, but sadly I could only get him karma for the part that he was paying me 1/3 less than my male colleagues. All those things about him being a fucking misogynistic pervert, I couldn't. And yeah, I'm more for prevention. Prevention works a lot better than punishment. So yeah, we need feminism. We really need it. So in my country, feminism used to be represented in a large female group called Rödstrumperne, the Red Stockings, who mostly campaigned for equal pay between men and women, doing the same job, back in the 60s. So yeah, things didn't change since then, sadly, at least here. So I always thought of it as a way to endorse equality through better understanding and tolerance toward our unique differences, It's just a discourse on YouTube, Reddit, and Twitter are so hard to attain a grasp over what's the true in practice. Indeed, indeed. Hello, Wolf. Hello. How are you? Thank you for the lurk, Z. But yeah, to be honest, even if I'm a programmer, I'm pretty convinced that internet maybe wasn't a good thing to happen, guys. You're doing good? Oh, nice. Making food. What are you making? Oh, Wolf, this ASMR stream became, you know, like those nerdy stream where we talk about philosophy, technology, religions. Now we're talking about the feminism. Yeah, nerd ASMR. Yeah, today, yes. Especially about social contagions. I don't know if you know what it is, but it happens quite often, and we are kinda inundated by social contagions, I would say. And people will probably call me fatphobic, but another social contagion is the fat movement, as they call it. I mean, in my country it didn't really appear a lot, because we are all about healthy food and stuff, so. But sadly, many influencers, fat influencers, started dying because of the social contagion about considering being morbidly obese something positive, while it's not. And it's not because people are evil, but it's for health. I mean, if there weren't health problems with being morbidly obese, I don't think that people would antagonize that movement so much. But again, people would just call you fatphobic if you say that it's not good to be obese for your health. And that's a social contagion, although I think that it was mostly in America, that social contagion. In Europe, I don't think so. In Europe, I didn't see it spreading so much. You hate it when the original intention of something gets obfuscated, yeah. Also, about the fat loving movement, they kind of buried the fact that it was created by, I don't know if there were 2 or 3 people, and those were actually perverts who were fetishists of fat. They buried that, and it all started with them. sometimes it can be rated for good, but mostly for worse. You have been depicted as almost a machete back in your school days. Yeah, yeah. Between someone who is fat and someone who is thin, it's like there is a lot of guilt towards people that point at the ones. Wait, if you say to someone you are fat, you will get a lot of hate. If you say to someone you are too thin, they won't tell you anything. But it's again two measures. But it's all the same. The important thing is health. But I wonder how that happened. I mean, I know that it started from those fat fetishists and perverts. I think there were also pedophiles. Let me see. And then the fat loving movement started in America. But even you say that it's mostly on Twitter as usual. But I think that in the USA it's still a big thing. Although a bit less, because now there is, Ozempic, so all those fat influencers, well, not all, but many of those fat influencers now are getting Ozempic. A big thing. Let me see. And also, it started with fat acceptance, but then it became something else. Because of course, you can't treat like shit someone just because they are fat or too thin. But it's the fat influencers that would play on these. That is really bad. And there are people who died for that. And many of these fat influencers died and are dying, sadly. No, this is a video. Yeah. The fat fetishism community has overlapped with body positivity. Yeah, that's what happened. But since now there is Ozempic and similars, I think that this fat fetishism will change with time. Although, I mean, it's not a great solution to use Ozempic because it has many side effects. And like, as far as I read, you have to take it forever. As soon as you stop taking it, then you will gain back all your weight. I know this is related to the topic of being overweight, but I am very underweight and struggle with eating. What disgusts me is how many times I've been fetishized because of your body. Yeah. I know why, Ati. It's pretty sad. It's because when you're very thin, you have kind of a body of. Some people think that you have a body similar to a child, and we go into that. Yeah, sadly. Even when I tell someone my weight is dangerously low, they act like I don't need to change a thing because they like how my body looks. Well, of course it will change as people will die young, probably. You mean the... one shot. Yeah, no, I think that this fat positivity, which is not literally this, it's fat fetishism. I'm pretty sure that things would change since now the USA has these drugs. And I mean, if you see the celebrities like Oprah Winfrey, she's a complete different person, but I'm pretty sure that before she was talking about this fat positivity. But extremes are very harmful indeed. Indeed. I mean, and I say this, I was so going back to that shop where I was harassed in many ways by that boss. A consequence of that, because he kept commenting about my clothes, how I walked, how I breathed, about my body. Thanks to that, I then became anorexic. I just wanted to not being seen. So yeah, it's not good. For sure, it's not good. It's not good. But the treatment was different. I agree, Hattie. The treatment was different when I was that teen. Since your voice is high for adult, people treat you like a kid. I see. I see. So, and you said that you're thin because you have a hard time eating. I know that there is like, but I don't want you to go into like asking your personal stuff. There are some disorders with eating that is not the psychological one. It's like medical that make you like eat not enough. But Hattie, I hope that you will be able to solve these and keep your health. That's the most important thing. Oh, if you can, though, if those people are not important, you can stop seeing them. If they treat you like that, and you told them to not do that, you don't need them as friends. Those are not really friends. Anxiety, I see. But be sure, if they're your friends, be sure to tell them that you don't want them to do that. And if they keep doing that, then you can tell them, okay, go fuck yourself, and you can find other friends. The world is overpopulated. And I'm sure that you can find the people that will treat you as you deserve. Is bulimia? Bulimia is when you eat and then you go and throw up. But bulimia, not always you will become extremely thin. It's anorexia that will make you too thin. But yeah, those are psychological disorders. Well, most of the times. As your description says, we are all a work in progress. Yes, my broshi. Yeah. I also say never give up. Never give up. And that's being hateful, angry, it's just it's so tiring, guys, and it makes you leave bed. Well, let's just think about our happiness, how to reach it. Let's live our life in a more philosophical way. It's a waste of time staying angry and hating people. One of my real friends, like, I brought that shitty ass pervert to court, and I'm happy. Also, that pervert, one of the things that he would go around and say is that he's a programmer. Bullshit. He's not a programmer. And then I became one. and I know that he went to search for me online. So he knows that I am a programmer now. Fuck you. Thank you for the follow, the holy bull. One of my real life friends recently commented on how I have childbearing. Oh, what? Were you able to answer to them? In, like, to tell them, like, what the fuck did you say? That's so weird. I know that, I mean, I'm someone who freezes when I'm like shocked by something. But maybe you can, so maybe you could also freeze and not answer, not being able to answer on the moment. But I think that you can still try and talk with that person and tell them that what I did was not right and how you felt about that. You should. Do not have try not to have any. Wait, is it remorse or regret? When you want to do something and then you don't do it, and then it remains there. And then the other is you do something bad and then you have regret. Okay, regret. Don't have any regret. Talk with your friends if they do something that you don't like, because anyway, we are humans, so people can just do things because they are ignorant, and then you just need to talk with them, and then they will be oh shit, yes. If I think about it, you're right. You should try that. Always. Okay, Wandon, have a nice dinner. Remorse is about something you have done. Okay, regret. Don't have regrets about this. Like, what if I spoke with them? Maybe they would have understood. This obviously depends on the type of friendship, but if this makes you uncomfortable, I hope you're able to have your boundaries with them. Yep. Because it's not okay if you're not consenting to those types of jokes. Yes. It can be difficult to know how to react in the moment. Yeah. Indeed. But you can have a talk with them. You treated it as a joke. That's also an, I read about that like a couple of days ago, the kind of reaction. But that's not you really being happy. Like, for example, when people laugh when someone makes a prank on them that is actually a bad prank, they laugh, but it's like a reaction to not have things going worse. You always laugh in extreme scenarios. Yeah, it's a human way of protecting themselves. It's like you make them know that, oh, you like it what I did, so that hopefully they won't do worse. Yeah, Hati. Yes, it's a defense mechanism. Yeah, I don't know. There are so many pranks going on about, I don't know, husbands, the future husbands, uh, uh, hitting their future wives with a cake, you know, at a wedding party, which is a really bad thing to do. But if you look at those videos, you will see that many of those women, they will react with a laugh, but that's not because they're happy at all. It's a defense mechanism, indeed, to not make things worse. Laughter is a panic response. Most jokes are some form of rule breaking or violation, supposed to be controlled and safe, not dangerous. Yeah, that's a bad way to start a wedding, like she's been dreaming of this day for at least since the proposal. Yeah, and she also spent so much money for her hair, her makeup, her dress, only to have that ruined by him throwing a cake on her face. Even worse, I saw one where he threw her in a swimming pool. And in that video, when she came out, she was laughing, but I don't really think that she was really happy. Imagine like you dreaming about having your hair done in that way, wholesome makeup, wholesome dress that you can wear basically only there, and then that happens. I remember going home from school and seeing a girl crash on her bike as she crashed into a rock, completely whipped into while Lothar, as a show of incredulity of her not being injured from the crash. The same thing has happened to you? That could be a true laugh though, right? But yeah, it just you can also see many comments of people saying she laughed, so she clearly liked that. It's not true. They didn't understand shit. What else is she supposed to do? Cry? Yeah. I mean, of course, imagine all the things that would come into her mind at that moment, like probably, fuck, this is a big party, there is my family, my friends, this is the biggest moment maybe of my life, and how can I start crying now and ruin everything? Yeah. Then there are also those who are able, because that's also a sort of a freeze reaction. There are also those who react in other ways, but just laughing when such a thing happens doesn't mean that happy. Trigger word? Okay. Oh, okay. So I will do this, but then guys, I have to go out with my doggo. He needs to do his things. So splendiferous. Splendiferous. So let me look fast if there is any say so ASMR going on Twitch. Otherwise, I will see you directly in 2 days. Very detailed. Let me check here. Yeah. Never mind. I think that they forgot to change. They forgot to change the category. But she had the say so tag. Okay, guys, I'm sorry, but I can't see any. I don't see any say so ASMR going on. So I can't trade. I will see you the Thursday. Thursday will be for gaming. Thursday we have to continue the cyberpunk collab in Wuthering Waves. So thank you for the follow, Ravix. And as always, guys, whenever we go to sleep, stay warm, dream about the moon elves, magic and dragons. I will be on Discord until Thursday, as always. So, thank you so much. See you. I will go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.